on TOS gives you like 2 deviation lines. So I cut that off and I just get the one VWAP.
Right.
And I find that works really good for those little spots where okay, price is going to hit that because it's going towards that VWAP, and it always goes back towards the VWAP.
Heck yeah. Why do I have a double imposed bullish bear symbol on my stream?
Let me go post this in the Discord.
That is so weird.
I'm finding some penny stock stuff this morning that looks good.
Let me resize this thing.
Penny stocks. Here.
I like being able to play with stuff while it's live, and then I see like the 2-second delay. That's so cool. I'm just gonna make the Bullish Bears logo that comes as a default that we added to the thumbnail. Overlay my the emblem I put in the bottom right corner. See how close I can get
just hit it.
There's 2 sets of horns there, but it'll work. That's cool.
I have to go see it. Let me. Oh, you're on. I'm not on YouTube.
Gotcha.
Wow, that BIAF is moving.
Nice.
It's a penny stock.
Let me shrink my picture to match here. Oops.
Okay. That's one. I'm just trying to find some stuff for our penny stock folks.
We'll give you guys some more screen area. How's that? There we go.
Such a penny stock guy.
I love penny stocks too, man.
I do too, man. It's where I learned my price action. It's home.
Word up. All right, let me see if I can throw my other screen overlay here. Does it work? Yes, it does. Excellent.
Big wick there.
Computing power is a must these days.
What is?
Computing power. Being able to do all this at once.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
In the pre-market, you can see I kind of knuckled up a few of those trades. Just little quick scalps. I mean, just rapid. And
oh yeah, those. And did you have automatic? You don't. At your skill, you don't need automatic stops.
Yeah, and at this point, when I'm able to just focus on my trading, I don't use them. I'll just go and manually pinch them on a candle. But I mean, some of these trades lasted like 10 seconds, dude. I mean, literally just one candle.
Yeah.
Boop, done.
I see that.
There's one for 3 candles.
Just boop, done. And that's what I was watching, paying attention to.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Now it's like, I'm gonna wait till the bell here because this is starting to look a little weak at the top here. And that little descending megaphone pattern I was looking at on the 1-minute chart there, all of a sudden it broke out, ran to the 50% retracement, or right at the upper edge of that 365 pivot, and got rejected. Now we got this little miniature 1-minute rising channel, and I'm expecting an open to drop right down to that 20 period, about 364.15. From there, I'd love to see this play in the range that it's set up in the pre-market here. If we get SPY to run down, I mean, 361 would be about where I would expect it to hit rapidly on the open just to close that gap. From there, I'd like to see it trend, but I'm not sure it will. As we've kind of seen that, I guess the European market is going into QE mode rather than raising rates. So this will be an
British bonds have rallied 7% today.
Wow. I should start trading pairs. I haven't done that yet.
I wouldn't mind that happening. My crypto would skyrocket.
Right? That's another thing I was looking at is Bitcoin. I was looking at putting a trade on in that.
All right, let me
go. It's holding up pretty nicely. It's not. It should be diving into the 17s, and it's not with how bad things are.
Bitcoin. Let me pick the right one. There we go. Look at the 2 hours. So I was essentially looking at this yesterday, and I was like, man, I could short that. And then before I could open one of the nano contracts to get it, in a short position, I mean, I would have made like $12 per contract shorting it from there, which wouldn't be bad. But I mean, I could just literally set that trade up and walk away from it with Bitcoin because I knew it was going to go and test this support zone. It's pretty easy. So looking at it now, bouncing back, we got to figure out where the resistance zone is. So if we see it touch 1850 again or 18.5 again, it's just a matter of looking at the control bar that goes right up to 22.2, 22.3 in that neighborhood.
And we're off.
How will I know which way it's gonna tank or rally, Jeremy? Should I just watch and see which channel which line it crosses first?
So that's just it. We're going to look at probably the first few 1 minute candles will tell you whether it's going to break over at the open or if it's going to go and test resistance first. But compared to SPY, we're kind of looking very similar here. And there it is. The center line is 1180.
Yeah.
And that center point is just kind of an accumulation pivot where we can expect it to either run back up in the upper side of the channel or the lower side of the channel.
Should I put a pivot line at 1180?
I would just to kind of know where the center of the center of gravity is, so to speak. Let me get SPY back up here. It's like even with SPY, I'll go into pre-market and set up all my pivot areas and just kind of know where the range is expected, and then when we see a break, we'll know where the momentum is going to take it, typically just by looking at the next support zone or the next control candle. So here goes forward right to that center line, ba-bam.
So if it breaks this, then it would be a good idea to close the call down and just let it run the put. Yeah?
Right, if it starts to build momentum there, absolutely.
Okay, I'll prepare. Thank you.
All right, I give up. I wanted to put a put on Ford at the open. And it's telling me my paper trading has insufficient funds.
Paper trading has insufficient. That's interesting. Doesn't it start you with a default 50,000?
Check your contracts and see how many contracts you tried to open.
I'm at a loss for words.
It might say you might have like 100 contracts you're trying to buy.
That's true.
So it width down past 1180. Is that pretty much it's set now for the day? Close down the call and just ride the put down, yeah?
So I mean, it can certainly bounce here because you've got a support zone here. Think of it that way. Let that candle close. You want to see what the body of the candle does, not necessarily the wick.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You see, it did wick down here to 1178. That doesn't mean it won't find support here. However, there's the 200 period here where that doji is, that body of that doji.
The body of this candle seems to be dipping below 1180, so I'm just going to keep an eye on it now. I see how exciting these minute-by-minute candles are now.
Absolutely. And then we're touching the support area right here where that wick is on the 5-minute candle too. So this candle is where you'd make your decision. This will be whether it's going to trend or not. There it is.
Right, so I'm going to sell that up now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do the same. Actually, I'm gonna take profit on the call side. And it's just a matter of riding the bear. Oh, I gotta look at American Airlines real quick here. I do have a position on there.
If it doesn't fill straight away, is that a problem?
Yeah, you might have to sell it to bid. So you're gonna have to look at what the bid price is on that.
You might have to go market if you don't get it.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Dang. Meanies.
Right? All right. Let's see if I can get 18 cents for my call debit spread on American Airlines. I might have to drop it to 17. I only paid 14 for it, so I'm in profit on that.
It logged me out. Can you believe it?
Uh-huh. I can believe anything with these AI.
Yeah.
Ooh, my.
And there's SPY tapping right on that 1 minute 200 period. Big old red bar on a 5-minute chart. Momentum's slow there, but it's starting to build. So watch this. We cracked that 200 here. We've got momentum all the way down. First support is like 360.75. Next leg, we could hit that 359. My goodness. 360.
You know what happened to you yesterday? It kind of happened to me. Just as I was about to close that call, it logged me out of my thing and I lost about $4 on it. $4. It's okay. It's okay. It's all good.
That's just kind of annoying.
It's all part of it's annoying. I look at it as a business. If I were to run a restaurant, if I were to open a restaurant, I'd lose a hell of a lot more money in 1 year than I will on the stock market learning it. So always look at it that way.
That's true.
Yeah,
Overhead's low. You know what I'm saying?
I think what I need to do is every day just log out of Tastyworks and log back in before trading, just to make sure that any sessions are closed or anything like that, just so that I can trade properly without disruptions.
Absolutely.
All right. I'm out of all of my call site stuff. Ford bounced off that pivot, though, so hang in there.
Yeah, isn't that just the way it goes? I got my call as well now.
They got a bar at 36.70.
I've got enough implied volatility on the open here where I'm actually profitable on both the calls and the puts on all three of my positions, so I'm just kind of legging out of stuff right now. I'm going to see if this trend continues on SPY. We did have a little support zone right here, 363. Oh, give us a trend day, market makers.
Give us a trend.
Thank you. Come again.
The price action. Let's see. We got a range now. Market maker high is 368.33 on SPY, and our market maker low is 360.43. But we do have a range of ADR range low is 357.57, and the high is 371.19. We did hit the low yesterday for the average daily range.
Very cool.
I still need to learn a little bit more about the average daily range. SIG, as Bud was saying, you go in there and it's like, oh my God, what is he talking about? And I just sit there and I would play it while I did what I did. I would play it while I knew. My lips ain't woke up yet. I would play it while I'm doing my pre-market routine. And eventually I started to understand what he said. That's how I do it. I just immerse myself in it and listen. It's kind of like learning a language if you're in a different country. You go in there, other than South Wales. You go in there and you listen to what people say, and then you start, figuring it out.
Sometimes I'll pick up their accent too while I do it.
I do that. Yeah, it happens with me sometimes.
No offense, Victoria, but if I start sounding like a limey, you'll know why.
That's fine. You're more than welcome to pick up the accent.
I was in a bar room one night with 3 Brits when I was 19, and I was in New Orleans, and I was the bartender, and I had shut it down because they were all my friends, and they had never hung out together, and so all of them were hanging out together and talking, and before I knew it,
everybody sounds the same.
Their accent, and we were laughing.
That's part of learning the language, though, is learning the sort of phonetic way of how somebody speaks.
Yes,
so
exactly.
That's quite normal,
That's why the French hate it when Americans speaking French.
Yeah.
Oh, the French hate everyone. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's true.
No offense to you French people.
No. As long as I don't start talking like I'm from Soho, I'll be okay. Sorry.
That's all right. I had a friend who lived in France for 22 years.
Ooh.
And when she speaks French, the French are amazed now when they come to America. They're like, are you French? She picked it up so well.
They speak French, don't they, down in
No.
Louisiana, aren't you?
Not where I live.
No, but in Louisiana.
In Acadian, yeah, a little
I
further west from me, and when they speak English, they say everything backwards. Let me told you a story, because when they had to learn English, they learned it with their French mindset.
Right.
Of everything. Instead of White House, it's a house
Yeah,
white.
verb, noun, then adjective, isn't it? Instead of adjective, verb, noun. That's right.
Yeah. So when they speak English, they learn English. They say everything backwards.
Yeah, we do that because in Spanish it's the same. It's you got, I think it's
Right.
verb, adjective, noun, and then we've got it adjective, noun, verb. I can't remember which way it goes around. Anyway, yeah, the language switch the
I have trouble with English. Yeah, you're right.
Whoa. What is this? AMV. That must have been a
Okay.
split. No,
Who?
it's not. AMV. Alpha Michael Victor. Ah, it's an IPO.
Oh, IPOs are hard to play.
Yes, they are.
Not
That's
a big
what
IPO fan.
That's what the 1 minute chart is for, sir.
Are we flagging here? Does this look like a flag?
Kinda, sorta, huh?
We shall see.
Look at that thing, dude. Oh, too bad it's not optionable yet.
Which one? The IPO?
Yeah, AMV. Altus.
Look at American Airlines might be ready to dip in a little bit.
Yeah, I was looking at that. Hit that resistance
Put
point.
that penny stock up. That thing is going, bro.
Yeah. Which one is it?
Boy, both of them I put up. SOBR and BIAF.
Let's throw it on
I
a
put them
grid.
up in the chat. I saw them on the grid, and it came up in my scanners, and I was like, oh, those two look really good.
Accidentally hit my caps lock.
Yeah, they look really good. Boy, that $2 one's hitting the previous VWAP I had marked out.
No kidding.
It's got some room to run if it wants.
We do love
Go chasing.
We do love price action. So when we see penny stocks move, we use our price action to just destroy them. It's awesome. That's part of the perks of being a member here with us. We will show you how to fish a penny stock like no other.
Yeah, that's right. Penny stocks are, they're not from the devil.
No. They are a payday just waiting to happen. And you can scalp them so easily if you just apply, I mean, even some basic price action trading knowledge. You can really kill a penny stock, but you've got to know a thing or two about price action. And
that's where I learned price action.
Yes.
Penny stocks, and now translating it to everything else.
I could literally just set a pivot right there. That's the control bar we're looking at. 405, 406. Base of this control bar here from the 14th. And if we start to break out, there's your price target. But I'm looking a little further left for two other zones. So we got one right here, control candle from the 9th.
I love it.
475. And 553. It's really easy to just plot those control bars out, throw a pivot on there, and then start trading between the pivots. And then you go to your 1 and 5 minute chart and say, okay, I know where the action is. It shows right up. We do have a rising channel here. This is the third leg on it. I expect to pull back here, if any. We can get the old wave count in there. We get 3, 5, and 7. Very typical on a penny stock.
Was 3, 5, and 7 very typical on a penny stock? By the way, 3, 5, and 7 is very important in music too. Just want to say that. I just want to say that.
Absolutely, man, and that's the thing.
That's
can relate.
Chord form. That's chord form. 1, 3, 5, 7. There's your chord formation.
You can relate so many different things to the way a chart moves on the stock market in any equity.
Yeah. Athletics.
Yep.
The beach.
Oh,
the beach is my favorite.
Any surfer knows how to count waves.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
That's me. I was quite.
Victoria must surf.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we surf on here.
I was quite the grom when I was a kid. I spent more time in the water looking like a seal than anybody I know. And
awesome.
There were sharks.
California, yeah?
I was born and raised in California.
Yeah, that's the dream.
Lived many a year in Huntington Beach. And,
why he's so relaxed.
Yeah, I was pretty chill on a surfboard.
Yeah.
Jiminy crickets, look at that.
And then this SOBR kind of looks interesting to me too, yeah.
It does, yeah. That's why I looked at them both. They looked
That's
interesting,
that's got some
and they had some.
potential. Ooh,
Oh yeah,
let me throw that on the grid here.
gotta be careful with it though.
Yeah, that thing's a monster.
Hmm.
It will eat your lunch.
Jeremy and I have traded penny stocks before,
Oh,
way
dude.
before I was a moderator. And we would sit there and I'd say, "Go look at this one," and we go look at it. We had one day. We just sat there and made bank on it.
Yeah, that thing was awesome.
BERU, I think.
Yep.
I still remember it. I was like, "Dang!" And we did it like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, it was like 3 or
Ooh,
4
look
days
at
straight.
this!
We just kept getting paid.
Goodness gracious! What are you gonna do here? You gonna do a bounce off of the bottom?
So we've got a short
Almost.
range gap into between 236 and 260 on this SOBR. Just looking at the daily chart. Let's hone in on this. That's the top of the range from the previous flag pattern. Okay. So we're likely to set up a resistance push all the way to that 230, but I don't know if it's going to breach it. I think it'll get rejected there just by the way it's looking.
211's a previous VWAP on penny, 2-hour chart.
Gotcha.
Where do you
Went
what
right
watch
to it.
do you guys have those on a watch list? That's how they're popping up, or
Oh,
on a
Uh,
scan?
we got
I
some fun
use
for you.
the. I got some fun. I got scanners. Bud, you got TOS, right?
We got TOS and Weeble now.
All right. Well, I found these on my TOS scanner that I have that someone gave me, and I can send it to you because it was available to everybody in Bullish Bears. So, um, I'll try to go put it up in just a little while. Somebody remind me because I do forget stuff.
Yeah. There's scanners
your name?
there. There's scanners there, and then
Weeble.
to look at these, I can go and pull up the. You go to the markets button on your Weeble app on the phone, and you go and look at top gainers, and it'll pop up the
Pre-market?
top gainers. Pre-market, you can switch it to pre-market, after hours, or during the day, whatever you want to look at, and it'll pop up everything that's killing it. And then you literally just pop a chart open, do a little research, and be like, okay, I know where the price controls are. Cool. Trade it later when it hits those price controls.
You can actually see the spark chart. And once you get to know charts a little bit better, you can look at that small, tiny spark chart
Yeah.
and tell whether it's even worth looking at on a big chart or not.
Yep, I love that.
And matter of fact, going back to the old days, by the way, the 8 is above the 20 right now. It just crossed above the 20 on the 1 minute chart on SPY.
I see that.
And you go and find those great penny stocks. I used to find a bunch of them. Everybody say, "Where are you getting that?" I said, "Weeble." Weeble. And then I have a scanner that is set for penny stocks mainly, and I think it might go up to $50. But you use that, and that's what I used this morning. It came up my scanner, and I'll pop it on, and then I'll scroll through it, and I'll use the color code to make one chart have, like, I have the brown one, number 8 on for my penny stocks, and then I can just flip down the list, and it'll change in that screen in that chart, and I can see whether it's a good stock for me to consider trading. And truthfully, speaking of penny stocks, that's what SPY has reminded me of this week.
Yep.
Because it's been so low to the ground.
Getting all those little channels.
That you're always almost like, we're going to have a dead cat bounce? That's kind of what it looks like.
I'm going to start throwing some wolf waves together in a minute on that. I'm going to let this morning opening shake out just a little bit more. But yeah, these penny stocks, I mean, you get into them and like you said, you can just glance at that spark chart and know if it's even worth opening the chart on. And
the cool thing about pennies is that it becomes like what we're doing right now with forward, with options. To learn price actions, you can do the same thing with pennies, except you just trade one share.
Yep.
You can trade one share, and you can practice your price action in real time with real money, and it's much, to me that's a great way to learn. But everybody's different. That's how I learned, and I like that part. So
absolutely. And then
we got a morning star on the 5, and that is technically a descending channel on the 5. So that would make it a legitimate morning star. I was wondering when this thing was going to do something.
Ah, yeah, I
And
see
we're
that
above the 15-minute
right
range
there.
now. Yep.
We've got 2 morning stars, and they both ended up being the inverted Busby, and now we've got essentially a descending megaphone on top of a leg. We breached that 365 pivot. This will be a measured move. So let's see here, about a $3 move up from there. So that could send us to 368 just by looking at the measured move.
Yep. We're right at the angular resistance right now. I love that regression channel.
I'm starting to walk off of my all my short positions too. This is going to leg out. Let me see what we get on a 15-minute chart.
Go to a 15-minute range. Who wants the 15-minute range?
There it is.
Ask them what they want.
That 365 pivot is also a regression line if you look at the pivot points above and below. It's the center of gravity.
Look at that above the 8 on the 1. On my 5 with my simulated Al Brooks moving average, it's above it.
I drew a little rising megaphone here with the center line on my 1-minute chart. If and when it fails, I know exactly where the break is expected to be at that point.
15-minute.
All right.
Freaking hammer.
Here's your BIAF. This is the 3rd attempt on support on this rising channel here. This will be where you'll decide if it's going to be a 5-wave pattern or a 3-wave pattern.
I'm going to close out of my put position as well then, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to walk out of that as well.
Okay.
I think I'm going to have to roll that into another day or something. Well, let me see. Maybe I could sell a put against the long put.
Would it be worth buying a put now when it hits this? Or is it like, oh yeah, wait for a reversal, sorry.
Don't be sorry about anything. Look at that push.
Yeah, it might whack that $12 pivot real quick.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised how pretty that is.
If there's a reversal, is it worth buying a put at this point?
If you see the reversal, yeah.
Okay.
But it sucks because you got to sit through a few candles to see if it's going to confirm or not.
Mm-hmm. Right now we're kind of, what are we looking like here? Let's give it a good look.
I had to go look at my American Airlines chart. I'll get back to SOBR. This BIAF, though, looks like it might give you either a breakdown and retracement back to about 327, or if it keeps on chugging on top of this line, you can get one more push up to like 435.
AAL is really respecting that trend.
Which one?
AAL. I made a channel up like you did with the
yeah.
SPY, but not a megaphone, more just like a straight up channel.
Yep.
And it's really respecting it.
Let's see, we have to ignore one of those bars.
That's good. I like hearing that you drew a channel like Jeremy. That makes me happy.
I love channels. There's a breach.
Yeah.
I tell everybody, you learn this like I learn music. I pick out a couple of different artists. I go learn a couple of their styles, and then I mix them together. That's what most musicians
It's reached
do.
that 11.96, isn't it? So
Yeah, there is a control zone right there at $12.
yeah.
And
Okay.
it wicked right to it, $11.99. Get back to a 1 minute on that.
Hey, we'll kill you.
Wow, American Airlines, what are you doing?
Where's your theta? Like volatility.
Ah, that's the top of that channel. Okay,
That's a reversal off the 12, yeah?
that looks like it. Watch for that breach of the 8 period to confirm it. I'll zoom in on that. Although you do have a bullish, there's a chance it can tap off the 8 period and continue one more push to that $12 mark. But if it breaks that 8 period, this will tip over real quick. Here goes that BIAF tipping through as well. Watch the close of the next two 5-minute
Ford's
candles.
building.
What's an
Yeah.
8 period?
The 8 period moving average there, my white line. Just a simple moving average. When you're watching the 1 and 5-minute chart, it's really good for finding exactly when price is breaking over.
Look forward. Look out.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Oh, 5-minute candle too. It's the close. Last 10 seconds of the 1 minute, end of this 5-minute candle. So always interesting to watch and see what they do.
SPY just breached the center line on that rising megaphone channel, so, and the 8 period.
But it's still in the 15.
Yeah, it's still hugging that trend for the moment, but
yeah. That candle closed right on the 15. But it looks like let's see.
I think it's going to breach that 12 on Ford. It's trending upwards again.
it's trying to, but keep your eyes on SPY as well. If this breaks over and starts to fold back down to that 363 pivot, Ford will be in trouble too.
Okay.
Yeah, the also another, not just an indicator, but I don't know if it's cross charting, but we use UVXY, or you can use /VX. Those are almost the inverse of the S&P and SPY.
Are they volatilities?
Say again?
Is that volatility?
So it's essentially
it's just
it's the VIX index. So
it's another index that you could trade, but we use it for SPY because it often shows you the inverse. So like if it's going down, SPY is going up, and Ford.
I got you.
And if it's going up, usually SPY and Ford are going down. So sometimes the VIX can help lead you. So you move it you use it as another indicator.
Right.
I got you.
Yeah, it's complex. Sometimes I think it's like flying a plane.
Yeah, lots of instruments to watch.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
We're flying. Well, I guess we'd call this VFR.
Question.
Yeah.
Hey, Ricardo, how you doing?
Jeremy, if you do decide to get put a put in for Ford, I gotta make sure I don't miss this. What strike would that be?
At this point, it'd be the 1150 would be the better one to go. But I'm going to wait and make sure this trend doesn't continue rising above that $12 pivot.
Gotcha. Thank you.
It's just wicked above it now.
Yeah, it's making threatening sounds, but I think this is a market overreacting to some lukewarm good news, in my opinion.
Yeah. I didn't even check to see if we have anybody speaking today.
I haven't looked either. I'm just mapping out all kinds of trend lines and stuff and drawing things.
Okay. Where are we now? What time? 57. Yeah, we look like we're going to hit that 1201. Ba-boom. It's 364.97. Ford is not Ford, but that's a previous. That might be a pivot.
Yeah, $12 is a pivot there.
Yeah, I was looking at the SPY hitting that 364.97.
Right, Ford looks like it's going to breach the 12s now.
Yeah, but yeah.
I know what you're saying, though. Yeah, keep an eye on SPY.
Careful. No, just be careful. You get up.
I might have to.
Let's see. SPY is trying to Globex high for SPY. I got as 365.41. Yeah. So keep that in mind. If you could find the high, and that's where Ford is right now, basically, just a few pennies above its pre-market high. If you remember the other day, we had that Globex high on SPY, and I mentioned that it could go back, it could hit that and then come back down. So we keep an eye on those because if it rejects the high, then it'll come back down.
Okay.
And then also, Jeremy will help correct me on this if I'm wrong. But that's also a good point to look at for if I'm going to buy a put,
Yeah.
to, that I'd keep an eye on that high
Right.
and see how it reacts there.
Yeah, I'm really watching this 12 level now with Ford to see the activity. And yeah, okay, it's a pivot point. Now it's
So
a candlestick. It's trending down.
Yep. And the 1 minute, it's
Something here.
yeah,
let this candle
Right.
close. You want to see the body below the 8 period. You don't want to see it act as support. You want to see that
Yeah,
become
that's what I'm looking
resistance.
at for now.
and we're at another 5-minute point. So this 5-minute candle is going to close in about 15 seconds that I'm looking at. And so far, the previous candle and this one have a lot of selling pressure.
Yeah.
So we'll see what it does in the next 5 seconds. Going to tell us a lot.
Yeah, I can see what you mean now. This candle is a big determinator. There we are. The body's closed below the 5-minute average or whatever it is, the 5 average. And the wick has touched the 1196 mark as well.
Right. It came down just below that 8 period. And what we want to see is we want to see the 8 period become resistance. We want to see the price start to trend under it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It doesn't mean that it'll do what it wants to do. So be cautious.
Right.
So, but if it does that, let's say now the body of the candle is below that 8-minute, that would be a reasonable reasonable time to buy a put. Obviously, it's that now, but
Yeah, not anymore. The old adage, wait 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Wow, I
look
knew
at
that.
Bada bang. Okay, so we've got some movement. What we got news? It's 10 o'clock. What the heck happened?
Something happened. Yeah, there's a big old green bar sticking out of the chart that shouldn't be there.
Ending home sales index.
Oh, okay.
State Street Investor Confidence Index. Federal Reserve. Oh my goodness, we got Powell speaking at 10:15. Everybody.
Sweet.
oh gosh.
That means that's
Great
good.
time yeah, why is that good?
Well, because anytime he speaks, the market's going to do something crazy.
Uh-huh.
So it might be a good time in a few minutes to look for a strangle.
Yep.
Yeah, should we put a strangle on now then, just to see what happens?
Just got to pick the
don't-
right equity for it.
Yeah.
You could theoretically grab the other side of AAL. Let me see. This BIAF doing exactly what I knew it would do. It'd come down and test that support zone. I'm gonna get away from that.
Yeah. Get away from BF. Go ahead. Get away from BIF.
There we go. American
You
Airlines
know
going
what?
up to
Sober's
1260.
doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It's hitting the zones that I had laid out. I'm going to do some more teaching on those zones. Going to resurrect old Scott wherever he is. God bless him, Lord.
I know. We gotta get in touch with him. There goes that UVXY.
Man.
Bam! Right off that tweezer bottom.
Wow! Look at the 5-minute candle on SPY.
There's your breakover. Nice. See ya.
Yeah. All right. So that's the pivot point. Not the pivot point. That's the reversal. Yeah.
That's the one you're looking for.
So I'm going to buy my put now.
There you go, and then ride the momentum down. And you can. Are you still holding the call, or did you ditch it?
No, I ditched it.
Okay.
I'll buy this put now though.
So the way you can lock this in, figure out what you sold that call for, and if momentum plays right, you buy it back for less than or the same price that you sold it for, so you really didn't lose anything.
Okay. All right. And minus the
Commissions,
$1
of course. Yeah.
commission. Yeah. Okay.
AAL printing a doji. Let's see if she gets back down now. That's what I'd like to look for a bearish entry. Now, I had this angular support set up on SPY and I moved it, but actually it was correct the first time.
Let me go see what the news says real quick. I use that phrase too much.
All right, if we don't trend under that 8 period here in a continuation of this little bearish trend or this little bearish reversal, then we could easily go into a range expansion zone, which is kind of looking like. And that just
wicks
accumulates for a while, and being that little about 10 minutes we got Jay Powell taking the mic, That's exactly what we're seeing here is the volatility and accumulation zone. This could turn into a diamond.
I learned a little something this morning.
I'll adjust those lines later. This can get
Wow.
interesting. in a
Last
big
few
hurry.
seconds of this candle too, 5-minute candle. 20 seconds left on it.
Look at that wick.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. There's a lot of selling pressure. Let me go back to trade of 8 and look. I love a parade. This is the wildest market, and I don't even been in what, year and a half maybe.
Yeah, you got to get that that
We're
experience.
shaking out of the pandemic though. The pandemic was just unbelievable.
Dude, that was like just an extended payday during the pandemic for me. What I did is when
Ranges just got in a little bit more.
everything just nailed the bottom and started to finally bounce, immediately after the lockdowns, I started getting into a whole bunch of real estate trusts, just a bunch of REITs, and I was doing the triple income strategy on them. I was selling calls and puts, collecting the monthly dividend on some of them, and then the quarterly dividend on the rest of them. And by the time it was all over, I mean, I was just at a point where if I wanted to, I could have quit working after that. So I like to make sure I have backup plan after backup plan. So I made sure I could totally rely on the income before I made the leap. But here we are now. But yeah, that pandemic was like it was like windfall.
Yeah.
It's a wealth transfer.
Pretty much, that's what it was. Absolutely. And I'm glad you say it that way because I see it that way too. It's just the biggest transfer of wealth in human history.
Oh yeah.
And it's still going. This is the tail end of it. So the big transfer of wealth was the whole pandemic lockdown, that whole situation, and think of that as like the eye wall on the storm, so to speak. The eye is past. Now we're hitting the backside of the eye wall. So
There will be other wealth transfer opportunities.
oh, absolutely.
I love that. Yes.
And then
all this trading takes time.
to quote one of what the heck is his name?
VWAP.
To quote
That's where we are.
Warren Buffett there, he said, by design, the stock market is to transfer money from the hands of the impatient into the hands of the patient. And that kind of stuck with me for a long time. Still is. It holds true.
And if we can learn the skills to trade, we can take advantage of the next opportunity then, yeah?
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's what we're building for. As soon as this market actually does find a bottom somewhere, we'll be ready to transition into some very, very amazingly profitable option strategies that I can teach you guys. And that triple income strategy is probably my favorite one.
I can't wait.
We're getting there.
But we got to.
Yep.
You know why? Because we have to learn this well enough to understand that the market makers are a lot smarter than us.
Oh, yeah.
And have a lot more tools. And we just need to learn how to ride their coattails and get in their wake.
That's right.
Learning how to be an options trader, a prudent options trader at that, is going to serve you well when you become an options seller. And that's what we're kind of working up to. Is we're getting the practice with the trading part of it, and then later on we'll teach you guys how to sell options to open, and that's when the lights really come on. So
so those are the market makers then, the people selling options.
Yeah, they write a lot of the options, but when you learn how to trade like they do, you just become a market maker, so to speak, in your own right. You learn how to sell options to open and just profit from the time decay and profit from the ability to roll them out. You can leg them into spreads. There's just 100 ways to skin a cat, so to speak. But the idea is you can use them to generate income from your long positions or your investment positions in ways that the average 401k holder or buy and hold type people just don't understand. And you'll go out there and you'll talk to some of your friends who invest in the market, or they're like, always saying, yeah, I'm buying shares of Apple, or I'm buying shares of this or that. Oh yeah, that's cool. You'll get like what, about 10-15% in a year. That's cool. Okay. We're talking 10-15% a day on average minimum with that strategy, where you're just literally generating income from your long positions. And
I just opened a nice little strangle. I legged into it. It's a $13 put, $12.50 call, 30 September expiration on American Airlines for when he talks.
sweet, good work, my friend.
Wow.
Very, very nice.
Hearing this.
That is
Make sure
awesome.
you take your profit quick on those things when they happen to. Cut
Yeah.
that loss quick. I still experiment sometimes and just to make sure I know what the heck I'm doing. And sometimes I lose a couple of dollars doing that, but I'm getting quicker at it. So
That's what I've done. Is I've experimented with my put now, and if it
mhm.
starts to turn green, then I'm just going to get my profits on it.
Yeah, I've lost money on purpose because when you're trading options, it's hard to paper trade. So you got to learn how to do it real time. And yeah, but cut those losses quick.
Okay,
All
I'm going to
right,
see if I can.
SOBR. I'm just checking on these guys over here.
So Ford is starting to move now below. I'm going to call it my fast and my slow average, right? I think for you it's 5 and 20-minute averages. So it's moving under the slow average now, and these are the bodies of the candlesticks as well. So I think it's had a turning point. Ford has.
Yep, it looks like it's rejected that $12 pivot once and for all.
8 is crossed below the 20.
It can range in two places here, so we can get another support zone would be the height of the opening candle. So you look right here at 1192. That'll become a new pivot for the day. And whenever I mark those, I always mark them in a color that stands out to me for the day. I'll turn it yellow or green or some weird color. Here, how about orange? And the idea is you can get range in that upper zone, you can get range in the lower zone, but ideally it's going to give you a range, and you can sit there and leg in appropriately, and you just look for reversals at those ranges or at those pivots. And the way a pivot works, and the principle of it is price above the pivot is support. Price below the pivot is resistance.
I was looking at that reversal stuff that you maybe suggested the other day, and I can see how it's working now.
Yes. It really, really allows you to see the forest through the trees, so to speak. You can see these little reversal patterns in there.
My little put should take off now.
There you go. And they're going to start shining. I mean, you'll see them just at a glance of a chart. And like we were talking about being able to glance at a spark chart and know if a chart was worth opening on a penny stock, that's what it is. You get that practice. You get these this ability to spot these reversals, even on a line chart. You'd be like, aha, I know exactly what that's going to do. In the instant you look at it, it just becomes second nature. And it's always fun to be able to spot those, and just in an instant, not only do you have a recognition of what you expect price to do, but you've already got a trade plan. So then you just literally plan your trade your plan, and move on to the next thing. I'm going to see if I can throw some legs at SPY here.
Throw some legs at SPY.
Let's see here.
Jeremy wants to throw legs, people.
I'm going to throw legs.
He's going to throw a leg at SPY. Watch out. Don't get hit by one of those things.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sadly, I've got to go and verify my options data. Because I'm throwing this together on Webull. I want to make sure that all the options data is correct on that.
98. No, 88.
Let's see here.
See, in penny stocks, I put my stop in, and I put my target in, because they'll just sometimes wick to that stuff.
God, that was way off.
So we're nearly 45 minutes into the trading day now, yeah? Can we kind of like say that it's established? It's obviously now barring any major announcements from Powell or whoever else is going to chuck a spanner in the works. But this is kind of now the point where you think, right, it's establishing its almost routine now.
Right. This is where things are going to kind of range sideways for probably another minute or so until he picks up the mic, and then things are going to go nuts.
It's a 15 minutes.
Yeah. If he wasn't talking today, maybe you could expect this to sort of continue for yeah.
Exactly.
Look, now you got a bullish engulfing starting to happen on the 5-minute chart.
Let's see
See
that.
if it does that.
And look at that UVXY, big old red candle. But bam.
Yeah, see that. Right into the 20.
Made $4
Both of them hit the 20.
Nice.
Very good.
of
$4.
imaginary money.
That's
Side.
okay. One day that won't be imaginary money.
Right?
That's why you use imaginary money now.
Oh, I'm actually doing this with my own money now. Should I be? I know this is a bit of a stupid time to ask. I mean, I don't mind.
If you're doing it small, you're okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, cool.
Ideally, you'd rather paper trade first, but I mean, if you're doing small or if you're doing low risk like we're doing with these strangles, it's okay too. It's
Yeah,
best.
no, I need to. Like I say, I'd rather these dollars are disposable, so it's fine.
It's best
Well, that's
practice
what risk capital's about.
when you're gonna start trading with live money. It's best practice to find minimal risk when you do. Let's see
It
here.
makes it more exciting as well, doesn't it? You really watch those candles and think, yeah, there's bucks riding on that.
There
That's
it is.
exactly right. It does. It does. I couldn't stand paper trading, especially with TOS. So
Yeah.
that's when I realized. That's when I was listening to everybody, and I realized, you know what? I could just do this with one freaking share.
Yes,
and
sir.
and I started off trading with one share, and then I went to 3 shares, then I went to 5, then I went to 10, and then I just ran up right to 100. So I don't like scaling in too much on penny stocks. So it's kind of, I'd go in and I'd hit 100 to 300 shares on a penny stock and do very well. I'm going to get my account back up to that again too.
See 345.
That saved my ass, by the way, being able to do that.
Yeah, with your insurance, isn't it?
Well, it did, but I was also, I live in New Orleans, and the pandemic shut down. I'm a musician, so it shut down our business.
Yeah, I also just closed my put.
Nice
Good
work.
deal. For a profit?
7.
I believe so. I think I just made $4.
That's still $4 is $4. Come on, little boy. Hit your thing now. Come on. I'm watching. I took 10 shares of SOBR.
Nice.
And actually, I can move my stop up.
Come on, open.
Where's my entry? 176. I can move my stop up to 177.
Come on now.
Is it at 177? No, give me 177.
J-Pow's already on the mic, and I couldn't get my order to fill in time.
Is he really?
It's 10:15. It's 10:17.
I thought he started at 10:30.
Oh,
Did I say 10:15?
I
I
thought
did say 10:15.
yeah, I thought you said 10:15. Okay.
My bad.
So
He
10:30.
is
So I
on the
got
mic.
time. I'm not. No need to
He-
panic then.
No, he's on the mic. You're right.
Okay.
He's on the mic.
Cool. Well, check out what I was able to do then.
Hey, and hit my target.
And then I'll be able to leg out of this. I had to keep going back and forth to find my actual options prices to make this work, but I think that'll fly.
I got in at $176 on SOBR, and hit my target at 188.
I was able to leg into SPY calls and puts strangle, and I was able to put a $50 cushion between them. Mind you, I've got 10 contracts on each side, so this is a demonstration
Dang.
trade for you guys out there. This is very tricky to trade because you've got to be really fast with SPY because that time decay will eat you alive. And then what I'll do is I'll wait for the range to shake out and I'll start legging out of it when I see the price action do its thing. Or if it takes off in one direction, I'll just close the whole thing for a big profit. All right.
Sober Safe Incorporated. Who are you?
And I ran that on my phone, so for you guys on YouTube, you you wouldn't be able to see this because I can't share that screen. It's got too much financial information on it. So, since I'm able to screenshot it to our Discord channel, but I won't put it on YouTube. But essentially, I went in and bought some 346 puts and 378 calls, and basically working them against each other until the price breaks out one way or another. And the idea is when you get movement where you have either a range, and I was able to use this little range right here to get that cushion between them. This is a net positive position. It's got a $50 cushion between the spreads. And the way this will work is if I start to see that range just continue to drag sideways, is I can leg out of the put side and the call side profitable on both ends. But if it takes a dive or takes a big rip, I can ride the momentum in that direction too. Just sacrifice the loser and ride the winner.
I was going to try to see if I could see what Paul was saying.
All right, Ford did hit that center line, which is just basically the top of the opening range right there. Had a little bounce there. So if you bought your put up here,
saying something that's making people feel good.
This is where you would have gotten your call, presumably. If I was paying attention, Victoria, I might have heard you say it already.
Well, a good place to buy a call, yeah.
Just to cap this, at least while Powell's speaking, because we don't know what's going to happen here. But it's right off that opening range high.
I was already looking at buying a call. I was just trying to find the best price, but yeah, I'll do it now.
Gotcha.
We're just ranging right now.
We're just ranging
so far.
You're saying to buy a call now?
If she's already got the put on Ford open, we bounced right off of the center pivot where I set up the opening range high candle right here.
Oh, I thought you were talking about SPY. I was like,
no. Nope. That was SPY. Yeah, I wouldn't. I legged into it on these two bars here. I was able to just barely pull that off in time. And I'm in that position, but I wouldn't suggest opening it now.
Do you think Powell's going to say he's going to start buying long-term US bonds as well?
Who knows? These guys
he's gonna echo what the UK says.
Yeah, you know what?
Maybe. That was a huge surprise today.
Yeah, and that's what time of day did that news come out?
Oh, early, about 9 o'clock our time. So that would be like stupid time, 4 o'clock in the morning your time.
Right.
That would be a complete 180, and the market would be up 15%.
Well, let's look.
See anything? We got crude oil and inventories coming out at 9:32. Excuse me, 9:30. No, excuse me, 10:30. Yeah, I'm looking at Central Time, 10:30. And it's got a lightning bolt by it, so that could be volatility there as well. But Paul is speaking, and I don't see anything about anything he's saying yet on financial juice.
Yeah, I don't either. There's nothing there. Nothing that pops out red anyway.
I was trying to find something where he was speaking. Not that I can always interpret it, but he must have said something good because it looks like we're going up again.
Yeah, we're in that range. And let me throw this back a little bit. So let's look at 4 o'clock in the morning our time. Yeah, that's when that news popped over there. So that's when we got that nasty gap down. And what happened?
Changing the highs again.
What happened at 6 in the morning? Because that was where things really changed gears.
6 a.m. That would have been 5 my time. No. Oh, no.
Bonds were rallying here by our time, so.
Yeah, that was probably what was going on because I don't see anything in the calendar.
Touching that 365 pivot one more time. Let's see what happens here. And we'll either get a measured move out of this to the bull side and attack that 368 zone, or this will reject here and roll down. Probably test 363.
By the way, that sober I got into and got that little scalp, $1.10 on 10 shares. So I'm not sure what it was, more than 10 cents. It did that thing. This is why I set a limit order for my price targets. It wicked right into VWAP, and VWAP was my my target, and it's
Nice.
just big wick. You can see it wick into the. Oh my! I just looked at a big green candle.
I think we're going to get that measured move. Oh, give me that day trade restriction. I'm above PDT. Give me a break. Oh,
Give me a break.
there it is.
Give me a break.
Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. I think we're getting our measured
I
move,
was.
boys.
That's
and
what I
girl.
was doing. Boys and girl.
Ford could
I
do the
need other
same
girls
thing.
out there.
Should I close the put off because it's starting to go up? Yeah.
The resistance point is right here at the top of that previous range, which is 1203. If we break that, that's where you'd get that signal. But for now, that measured move would take us to 1215. I want to watch SPY and Ford very carefully both to see if it gets above this resistance zone here.
And spy goes first, and then Ford will follow. Yeah.
Right.
It just SPY just second at break of its global high. I mean Globex high
Right.
at 361.40. We might get a trend day.
Just might. And the measured move setup for that is quite spectacular.
I've got 367, 82, and 371.26 would be my average daily range high.
Yeah, I've got 368 possible on this first leg of a measured move, and maybe an extension to like 368.80 on top of that. So
I never even thought about that. Yeah, Ford's ADR high is 1240. Measured market maker is 1222. All right, that was good to do. So yeah, when you get to
Yeah.
those highs, I always expect a little something to happen.
yeah, I can't find anything about what he's saying exactly either.
Nothing's coming up.
Okay, I'm watching Ford at the 12 price just to see if it rejects off that now. Reverses, sorry, not rejects.
Let's see, Mr. Michael Anthony on here on our comments for the YouTube channel. PED, that CEO has been buying shares and is debt-free within 24 million of cash. Nice. But it is oil.
The dollar did a little dip earlier, around 950.
Yeah, I'd
Where
like
are the
to.
bonds?
Because of the bond printing in the UK, not the bond printing, the money printing in the UK.
Right.
I believe.
They're gonna
And
QE.
it's dipping again.
They're gonna follow our lead, but a little late to the party. They're gonna QE the living snot out of the market and then end up in the same place.
So Ford is staying above the 12 price.
Yeah, and SPY just broke above that previous high, so we're looking at a measured move pretty clean on Ford here. We got it right here, a little end pattern here.
3690 up
So
there.
1215 would be the target on the bull side. All right. Now we're cooking with Earl.
Hey, you said it like you live down here with Earl.
With
That's
Earl.
what they call it. They have Earl. We burl. We're gonna have a crawfish burl.
There you go. Wonder if
It's
it's
fun to
time
watch.
to.
Fun to watch Ford go on the options ladder.
Yeah.
12, 1250, 12, 1250, 12, 1250.
It's had two white candlesticks with nothing, like just crosses. What do you call them? Morning stars, yeah?
Dojis.
Dojis. It's had two white dojis in a row.
Yeah, I see that.
That's crazy.
It's
indecision.
Yep, it's having a hard time, or people are having a hard time deciding if they want to continue buying it here or if they want to sell it here.
Yeah, it's gonna go up. I think if you look at the boom, just
going.
wicked 3690 on the ES. I said, son of a gun, that thing is gonna blow, and
See ya.
it did.
Yep.
Dadgummit.
So should I
I could move my mouse.
close the put down?
You might have to, but certainly be cautious with that and be ready to be quick with cutting any losses if that call starts to run against you all of a sudden. Oh
What
man,
time
this
is
is
it? Oh, last minute of the 5-minute bar.
this is an interesting predicament here. We've got the setup for a push to the extension up here, and I'll draw it on this chart because it's a little easier to see. That rides us right to that 368 pivot pretty quickly. This is parabolic though, so at some point it'll have a quick drop to pull back from that. Yeah, Ford is kind of deciding whether they want to make that measured move or not. But until it breaks that previous high with some force or with a full body at 1203, I won't trust that being bullish just yet. But I think it's getting near that time where you can. So
I'm just going to put a marker. A pivot point at
there it is,
1203.
right there, 1203 now.
Okay.
There it is. We're convinced it's going to keep pushing as long as it holds that 8 period. But just be very mindful of that 1 minute chart on SPY. I'm going to zoom way in on that.
Yeah, please do so I can see it too, because I haven't got enough screens.
Yeah, there's only so
I
many.
understand that.
Yeah, AT&T is I don't know, man. They've kind of, well, STB'd. We know what that stands for over here, but
Yeah.
inside joke. We can say the S word on YouTube once, I think, and get away with it before the censors clobber
Ricardo
us.
can say it.
There you go. There you go.
He's from Canada.
Yeah, there you go.
All right,
They say that word in the pulpit.
Yeah.
What do you want me to say?
The S word ends with a T.
Yeah,
They'll
yeah.
say it all the time.
Kind of shit
They
the
don't
bed.
think it's
Let's just
curse
say
word.
that. STB.
Yeah.
We just abbreviated over here because we got to try and be PG. But yeah, this
STB.
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 And
Shit
essentially,
the
when they made some mistakes, man. Let's just face it.
Chat.
They went and they bought what they buy back in the day when they bought DirecTV, and there was all that controversy and all that stuff. That cost them a lot of money to get into. They leveraged the hell out of themselves to get into that, and then they found out that it wasn't going to pan out for them. And that just caused all kinds of grief for them. Right now, they're still going to be fighting to pay the leverage back on that. Only now, if they have to go and basically refi that leverage, newer rates are going to kill them. So corporate bonds are kind of going to be a good indicator on what the giants like AT&T are going to look like in the future, and I'll show you that HYG. Because when they're making money, well, the equities that owe them money aren't up to the point where they default. Then things change, but we know what that looks like too because of our experience with where's 2008? let me slide on back there. Yeah, there it is. So you know what that story looks like when default on basically junk bonds happens. Timber. So you look at today on HYG and you're like, well, gee, that just kind of looks like it already broke support. Yeah, it did. It's going to look pretty bad for a lot of these corporate giants that are just leveraged to the hilt, and AMC is one of them. By the way, go look at the balance sheet on them people. They are, gosh, when I was looking at them before the whole meme stock thing, they were leveraged like 18-to-1 asset to debt ratio. That was serious back then. Now they've gone and hosed and soaked their investors. They did that shelf offering, and it's just business. But when you hose your investors like that, who believe in you on a whim of someone saying, yeah, this thing's going to squeeze and this is going to be the mother of all short squeeze, guys, that's already happened. Don't get sucked into that bunch of lemmings jumping off a cliff, so to speak. I hate to go and mention names and badmouth a certain outfit that got everybody into that meme stock, but dude, read a chart. But you look at things like HYG, the companies that are basically loaning these guys the money. If AMC ever defaults and goes into bankruptcy with the amount of leverage they have against them, it's going to get ugly. I'll just say that.
I can't convince anybody. I mean, look, AMC got me started.
Yeah.
I loved it for that. I mean, I scraped together $1,715, and I think I wound up with 5 or 6
Hmm.
Ford just broke with the main body of the candlestick, the 1204
There it goes.
right? Which was a previous
high.
price at. I have ladders up to 1233. It could get to 1240 today. That's a possibility.
What's Powell saying?
I don't know. I don't know what he said. Let me go see. Oh, here we go.
I mean,
Oh,
don't get me
no.
wrong. AT&T can have a
Biden-
little short hop, but I
Biden
wouldn't.
spoke at 9:32 at 10:32 and said oil and gas companies should not use the storm to justify raising gas prices. Oh, okay. He's
Yeah.
right. He's right.
Yeah, they
He's right,
shouldn't,
though. We've
but they
seen
will.
that happen before. They will. Yeah. After Katrina, remember
yeah.
how high gas went?
Yeah.
Because we had all the refineries got hit down here.
Yes, sir.
But they
Okay.
shouldn't because Florida doesn't produce any oil and gas.
No, they don't. So, yeah, don't get me wrong. AT&T can bounce here, but I mean, it's going to be short lived. I wouldn't invest in it long term. Just my opinion. I can't say that I would give financial advice on that, but I mean, you look left, that chart just keeps looking uglier and uglier and uglier the more you look at it. I wouldn't trust a bounce there. You know, just my way of looking at it. The chart tells me everything. I don't give a damn what the talking heads say, really. So if they're out there just enjoying the sound of their own voice, as you would say, don't buy it. Just trade the chart. The chart doesn't lie. The chart never lies.
No.
It doesn't. It tells you everything.
All right. Let me look at PED real quick, just for S&G
We
purposes.
are slapping up against that 366. I have a gap bottom of 621.22 at 366.33.
I wonder what the short interest is on PED. That would be an interesting one. That'd be a short-lived meme stock, yeah?
Which one?
PED. It's a low-volume grinder, but you can barely look at it on a 15-minute chart and see enough volume to make candles. Let me go look at the short interest on that. I'll use my phone. It's faster. All right. So also, I wanted to mention I had legged out of the put side of that trade on SPY there.
Okay, I'm gonna leg out of the Ford put. Okay.
There you go. I think 1215 is going to be the cap on that, and if it breaks that, it's got levels above to go to, but that's going to be the critical tipping point for this price action. You could get an extension to 1230, possibly, but we'll start walking the range. The first idea is to identify the range, and when you see the breakout, trade the breakout. All right, let me look at that short interest real quick. I'll look at that before we sign off the YouTube channel, at least.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do that soon.
Yeah.
We
Wow.
like
yeah.
YouTube people. We want y'all to come join members at Bullish Bears with us, because we're gonna go into Discord and we're gonna have fun. And what I mean by that is we're gonna go study a little more.
I only have short interest data back to 9/15, but that was 117,000 shares short with 1 day to cover that back then. Looks like the shorts have been falling off of this month by month, though, so they it might be ready to actually trend a little bit. Let me see what this free float, 25.56 million shares. That's not too bad, considering it's a dollar stock. I wish it was optionable, because if it was something like CEI, I can make that a free position in no time. Whoa, look at that top pattern. Nice. All right, that's where I'm taking profit on the call side for SPY, and up from 10 of 10, $70. Not bad.
Like I said, I should have done that already.
Go, go, go. If I can get that order to fill. Bam, done. Not too shabby, mate. All right, then. Well, that's going to about do it for our YouTube broadcast today. And I'm going to take a break and come back and finish up the day in our Discord channel. And that's where we go and we do hands-on training for talking through all the technical stuff that we break out of trading these options strategies and showing people how to basically use them to just generate straight income in their account. We're taking it step by step. We're first practicing trading strangles, which is a fairly low risk position to take for somebody with a new aptitude to trading options and or a smaller account. And usually most people start out with a small account just to kind of prove themselves to themselves. I sure did. But the idea is to be able to learn how to minimize risk while maximizing potential return first, and mastering that, and then also getting the experienced trading options so you know how to open them, how to close them and stuff. And the idea is later on we work that into a strategy where we can show you how to generate income on that. And it's an investment strategy, but it's also a trader strategy. And when you master that, everything else is like riding a bike. You don't even really have to waste so much time diving into the math that's involved with all these options. You can really just take advantage of the basic numbers game, like open interest and average volume. That's all you really need to care about at that point. So anyway, I'm going to sign off the YouTube channel, take a quick break, and I'll be right back, guys.